we'll call the February 5, 2024 meeting of Greenwood Board of Public Works and Safety to order at 5:30 PM. Roll call, please, Amanda.
Mr. Colvin?
Here.
Mr. Hoover?
Here.
Mr. Rutherford?
Here.
Thank you.
Minutes of our last meeting of January 17, 2024 have been distributed to members of the board. Any corrections, additions, or deletions from staff? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval as presented?
So moved. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. First, we're going to turn to Ms. Vest. Good evening, Lisa.
Good evening. This evening I come before you with a update for the building inspector position to the job description for CDS department. It's not a new position, it's a current position. There were just updates done to the job description.
What's the high level of that we're changing?
Kind of looking at it, and Mark, I don't know if you were part of this or not. It looks like there's been quite a bit of an overhaul between the two job descriptions, just to better utilize the position for what they need as far as assisting the building commissioner, the storm department, the planning director. So.
Okay. Anything you want to add?
No, it was largely our building commissioner and office manager that worked on that, but it was just looking to modernize and update, accurately reflect the responsibilities of a building inspector.
Any questions for Lisa? Is there a motion to approve it as presented?
So moved. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Lisa. Coy, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good.
Brad Coy, Assistant Fire Chief, Greenwood Fire Department. I come before you tonight requesting permission to enter into our annual preventive maintenance inspection agreement for our storm sirens within the city. This is with Federal Field Services. We've done this over the past several years. It's just a contract for them to come out and service every one of those. This would be for the mayor to approve the contract if approved by you.
Any significant changes from last year?
None whatsoever. Actually, I was very happy that the price stayed the same.
There you go, like that. Questions for Brad?
I'm going to approve request.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Next, we move to Justin Hofstadter, Crossroad Engineer. Good evening.
Good evening. Justin Hochstetler, Crossroad Engineers, here for the Jackson County Banks Woods Crossing project for the acknowledgement of the completion of the improvements and the release of the last performance guarantee.
Mark, this looks like it's unconditional.
That's correct.
Okay. Pleasure, board.
I move for approval. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm also here on behalf of
Yes,
Division
you are.
West Eye Care Project.
Yeah, make that a simple, huh?
Yeah. So this one is a little bit more, but it's the acknowledgement of the completion of the improvements, the acceptance and execution of the sanitary inspection and testing agreement, the acceptance of the maintenance guarantees, and the release of the performance guarantees.
I have a few other things, Mark, that you need to look at, is that correct?
That's correct. We're waiting on receipt of the original fully executed sanitary sewer inspection and testing agreement, payment of the sanitary sewer inspection and testing agreement fee in the amount of $520, and payment of the balance due on the general inspection and testing agreement in the amount of $1,412.
And I do have those. Those now.
We can still go ahead and make it condition upon that, so that
Yeah.
we get that. Is there a motion for conditional approval?
I move for conditional approval. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks. Ms. Tiger, welcome back home.
Thank you. Nice to be home. Kristen Taggart, Anderson Hauser, Inc. I am here today. I have also David Marks from V3 Engineering with me for the Anderson Hauser Innovation Center and George E. Booth Headquarters project on Worksville Road. For the acceptance of performance guarantees, acceptance and execution of general inspection and testing agreement, and accepting and execution of final plan.
Again, this is an unconditional
That's
approval
correct.
recommendation. Pleasure of the board.
I move for approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Hate to get you out just for that, but we're glad to see you.
See you, Jeff.
Mr. Heck, are you with us online?
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening, Joe.
I got an easy one just for Berry Chase, Section 2, just seeking acceptance and execution of the sanitary sewer inspection and testing agreement. It's a county project, but it's a city sewer.
Sounds like that again is an unconditional approval.
Yes.
I'll move it, for approval as presented. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks, Joe. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye. You too. Thank you.
Anyone from the audience wish to address us, either here in the room or online?
For public announcements?
Yes.
Yes.
Evening.
Gentlemen, good evening. I'm Max Worcester. I'm here on behalf of Worcester Construction for the Chase Bank property that's being renovated along State Road 135. As Mr. St. John has been made aware and understands, over the past few months, we've been working diligently with the engineers to reroute the storm sewer that was not able to be installed along State Road 135 due to various fiber lines and utilities being in the way. With that work, we have come to an easement agreement with an adjacent property owner, Schoolcraft Development, of which there are two tenants. There is a Smoothie King and a Bank One on that property as well. In order to install the storm line, we need to go into their parking lot partially. We are no longer going into State Road 135 or near State Road 135. With that agreement, Smoothie King and the bank have requested that we do that work in the evening hours, and we know that we need to come before you and ask for permission in order to do that for several reasons. We're in a non-residential area, but then Smoothie King and the other patrons have requested that it's done during off hours as to not interfere with the daily customers coming in and out. So this work would begin when Smoothie King closes, and the work would be complete each night and buttoned up before Smoothie King opens. It also reduces any backup or traffic confusion for patrons coming in and out of the state road, coming in and out of the parking lot off of State Road 135. So
What's the Smoothie King hours? When do they close? When do they open?
they
Max?
do know.
I think it's like maybe 7 to 8 or something like that.
That's when they close in the evening,
Yes,
and they open back up fairly early in the morning.
yes.
You want after hours, I suppose, noise as well?
Correct.
Opportunity
The noise shouldn't be incredibly, we are basically going to go in and we're going to be saw cutting their asphalt and we're going to be excavating. So other than an excavator going and some of the saw cuts, the noise should be pretty minimal. And the work itself should only take at most 5 business days to complete, but they're hoping that they can get it done sooner. Part of that goes back to hydrovacing around utilities that we do have to navigate and see what that is. It may be as short as 3 days.
Questions for Max? Mark, anything you want to add on this?
I don't, as was noted, it's a largely commercial area, so I am comfortable with this request.
No, it shouldn't be a problem.
The motion to approve that request.
I move that we approve the request. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else from the audience wish to address us? Now we'll turn to our corporation counsel.
I have one item. It's consideration of an engagement letter with the Taft Law Firm concerning a problem that the fire department is having with one of its members.
Questions for Sam? Beyond that, I think we've had an opportunity to talk with him previously. If we had an issue. I'll move that we approve the engagement letter as presented. Second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And that's truly it, Sam? That's it. Mr. Wright. Oh, wait a second, we're gonna,
Let's do it over.
he was so happy. so thanks, Skip. I'm sorry, Mark.
His eyes got-
Yeah.
The first item I have is authorizing payment for right of way on Hutzinger Road. We've secured right of way for 4 more parcels. I can read them out if you would like. The first parcel is owned by Donald A. Eads. We're securing 0.026 acres in the amount of $4,125. The second parcel is owned by Edward and Donna Scheidler. We're securing 0.023 acres for the amount of $17,500. The third parcel is owned by Du Maui, an area of 0.048 acres in the amount of $9,010. And the fourth parcel is owned by Joey and Jean Timms, 0.032 acres for the amount of $22,050. As with the other parcels on this, you are both the approval board and the purchasing agent. So I'm asking that you approve the payment and also accept the permanent right of way following purchase of the payment.
Questions for Mr. St. John on this?
I move for approval. Second.
Of all 4 of those, correct?
All 4.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
The next item I have for you is also on Hutzinger Road. This was, I got the memo to you late, so I printed out hard copies for you all. This is parcel 29 owned by Ronnie D. Beasley. It's located just to the east of the Cherry Tree Walk subdivision by the legal drain crossing there on Hutzinger Road. We've worked to secure right away from Mr. Beasley. We've made him an offer that we believe is a fair market value based on the appraisals we did on his property. He came back with an additional request. He'd like to construct a fence along the trail proposing to put in that new right of way. We're amenable to that, and so we're recommending an administrative settlement in the amount of $6,275. And the total cost of that parcel would then be $10,000 even.
Questions for Mark on this? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve that payment?
I move that we approve the payment of $10,000 to Mr. Beasley.
$10,000 is the total.
Total.
addition. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
The next item I have is another one of our projects, Smith Valley Road and 8 Brick Road. We've talked about this parcel quite a bit. It's in the southeast corner. It's the home we have purchased as part of our runabout project. Again, since we completely purchased the home, federal law requires us to make a number of additional assistance to the tenant of that home or the owner of the home. In this case, it's a tenant. We were required to cover the cost of a move for them, and we have to invoice that amount, and I'm asking that you approve. It's called a relocation entitlement to cover the cost of the move in the amount of $13,320.
Questions for Mark? This is, we've done relocation along Worsville Road for all the mobile homes. We did that quite frequently. I'll move that we approve the relocation payment as Mark has suggested.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
The final item I have under my status tasks are sanitary sewer service special agreements. This is just for one. It's the Unicore development, which is located just to the west of Anderson Hauser that we heard from tonight. It's in the southeast corner of US 31 and Worsville Road. Again, we're just asking that you authorize the mayor, deputy mayor to sign this agreement once prepared and approved by city legal, sanitation, and the engineering division.
I move that we approve the request.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Good luck.
That is all.
Okay, thank you. Now, great.
Good evening. I've actually got 3 items, one walk-on, I emailed everybody about this afternoon. But the first one on the list for me is Baker Tilly. We do have a master services agreement with them. This will be a scope of work for what they call a resiliency report. This is a new product from them. Basically, they would come in and review a lot of our processes and procedures, specifically related to sustainability and resiliency. So that could range anything from like our recycling program, waste management, to our succession planning processes. So it's a fairly large process. They are giving us a discounted cost not to exceed $5,000 on this, as they are looking to bring this to the Indiana market. So we would be their first client on this. It's to be paid out of the mayor's professional services budget.
Is it a flat fee of 5,000 or just?
Just not to exceed 5,000.
Questions for Greg on this? I think that's something you recommend.
Yes, please.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second that. Further discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next item is renewal of our contract with OpenGov. This is the site that we use for our budget, the site that we use for posting all our financial reports, our transparency reporting. We also use it for capital planning. The prices presented were 5% increase off of the current year, and then it's 5% per year after that. There is a professional services line. We recently did some upgrades to our accounting software, and it's going to necessitate them to do some work to connect it to the OpenGov system, so we have our automatic updating of the financials. So that would be a 3-year agreement with OpenGov at your request.
Questions from Mr. Wright on this?
I move to approve the request with OpenGov.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Final items, walk-on, and I brought hard copies if anybody didn't have a chance to review it. Our accounting, or our utility office manager, Haley, is leaving us for another opportunity. So she has offered to be available to us to help train her replacement when we find someone, as well as assist us with the collection side of things. So this professional service agreement would allow us to use her services through the end of this year, not to exceed 10,000 for the total of the year.
Questions for Greg on this? See the LinkedIn request from Kay.
She's actually starting her own business, so she's probably trying to expand professional contacts.
When is she actually leaving us? Or has she
Her
already?
last day is tomorrow.
Any other questions for Greg?
Move that we approve that request.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Mr. Rutherford.
I will move for the approval of the claims.
Second.
Further discussion, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. With that, we'll stand adjourned at 5:48 p.m. Thank you all very much.